Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. Hope everybody's having a good start to the weekend. As always, I'm here live every Saturday morning to answer all your dog training questions and concerns. So, welcome to all those who are viewing. It's my pleasure to be here. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Leon. I'm the head trainer here at Back to Basics Dog Training. And we're excited, as always, to be here to bring up some subjects that I found out during the week, some questions and concerns that I saw on Facebook posts, and, of course, answer your questions. And as always, if you're here watching now live, please put a comment in. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're watching. Give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching from. This post has been shared all over the country, so I'm curious on how far outreaching we go. So please put the comments down. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching later on the replay, please do the same thing. Give me a shout out, say, hey, what's up? And let me know where you were watching the replay from. So this week's subject, I saw in a post on Facebook. Somebody had a question out there to the general public. And one thing I do want to caution people, when you put it out, your questions about dogs' behaviors on Facebook or on any social media platform, be very, very careful on some of the answers you get. Hello, my sister from Hurricane Central. Please be careful to keep me informed of what's going on. That goes to all my Long Island people, especially my family, my sister. Love you to death, and please be careful. And make sure my nephews are being careful. So just really be careful on some of the answers, guys, on these social media posts. I'm part of a bunch of different dog groups and, rescue groups and this type of group relating to animals. And I read these posts, and sometimes the advice is really good. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, don't do that. So I'm going to bring up a subject that was discussed in a thread or whatever it's called on Facebook this week. Somebody asked the question. They had two dogs, a male and female, both fixed. And I believe it was the male dog was mounting the female dog, humping, whatever words we want to use, to be politically correct in 2021. And it's a concern. It is a dominance game with dogs. It's not a sexual thing all the time. It's a dominance game, especially because they were both fixed. Now, here's the problem when I was reading this thread. A lot of people understand, like I do, it's a dominance game. The dogs play to show who's more dominant. They've done it to other dogs. They'll do it to pillows. They'll do it to humans. They'll do it to anything. It's still an unwanted behavior. Dogs are not supposed to be dominant in a household environment. The human needs to be more dominant. My problem being is one of the comments that was on this post was about dominating the dog. Now, guys, I believe you can be dominant over a dog, and you should be, but that doesn't require a physical action. Your energy could be more dominant and should be more dominant than the dogs. The problem being is because of all these TV shows. Are there any special things pet parents need to do for their? Yes, I'm going to discuss that in a second. Great question. Thank you, Cindy. When the reason I'm bringing this up first, before we go to the storm preparedness, I don't even know if that's the right word, is because this is such a misconception. And when people say you have to show dominance over the dog, because of TV shows that have been out there, YouTube videos, and all these social media platforms and all this, people think when we say, as a trainer, dominate the dog, that means you come an alpha dog, you bite the dog in the neck, you pin it to the ground, and I'm going to teach you who's boss. That's a bunch of crap. That is a last resort used for special things. It is not because a dog is showing dominance over another dog. You got to stop the action, and if that's requiring using a leash, a sound, an e-collar, whatever, you stop the action. You bring the dog back down to calm, which we always talk about. You use your energy over physical. Your energy is the best tool, guys. I don't care what anybody says. And it's so important that people understand you can dominate a dog without physically touching the dog. If you have the leash on, you can do your no with a correction. You can use your pet corrector and say no at the same time to stop the unwanted behavior. But remember, the most important thing is to follow through to get what you want. So that being said, if anybody wants further clarification, please put it in the comments, because I am going to get into this important subject. We all know, or most people know, that Long Island's going to looks like going to get hit by a Category 1 hurricane. So everybody has to, first of all, stay safe. Second of all, how do we prepare our dogs for this environment? One, once this thing starts kicking in, guys, before it starts kicking in, walk your property line. Check your gates. Make sure, if you can lock your gate somehow, lock it. Put something in there. Make sure that gate can't blow open by itself. Second, walk the whole perimeter of the fence. Make sure the fence is intact. If you have time, I know today is going to be a crunch day for you guys, look over your fence line. If there's any low branches that may fall and damage your fence, if you can, cut them down now. Get the things that can potentially cause a problem out of the way before they become a problem. Make sure, of course, for just safety reasons, nothing heavy outside that could blow into your fence, knock your fence down, break your gates or whatever. Nothing should be outside. We know this just from a safety point of view. The second thing is, once this storm starts kicking in, if your dog does need to go out, and I don't care if you have a fenced-in yard, put your dog on a leash, go out with your dog, let it do its business, and bring it right back in. Do not leave dogs outside unsupervised. Yes, you have a good dog. I can hear all the things coming out now, but the thing is, it's a scary, scary thing. There's a lot of wind. There's going to be a lot of noise. There's going to be sound of branches breaking, trees come breaking, whatever, God forbid. But these things can scare a dog and cause a huge flight reaction. Some dogs may come right back to the back door because they're terrified. That's great, but some dogs may not, and they're gone if they have an opportunity. So the biggest suggestion I can have, I don't care if your dog's good on a leash or not good on a leash, you got to bring your dog out through the duration of this event on a leash. And that's what I'm saying. The duration of the event is after the event is over, until you have a chance to walk that whole entire property line, the fence line. The dog can't be out unsupervised. It's really, really, really important, guys. I mean, I don't want to see after Hurricane Henry, I think it is, blows through Long Island, Connecticut, and wherever else up in the Northeast. I don't want to see those posts on Facebook. Storm came, fence got damaged, my dog got out because I didn't realize. Take the responsibility, take the ownership of what it is. It's a natural occurrence. Hurricanes are going to happen. We can be prepared to save our dogs. And of course, if you're in a low-lying area, a lot of my friends on Long Island are in low-lying areas. They do got to worry about floods. Check now for shelters that accept animals. It's real, real important. Guys, not all shelters can take animals, from what I understand. I've never had to use one, so I'm not sure. But from what I understand, not all shelters take animals. Get prepared now for tomorrow. And if you do that, and okay, you're living in a low-lying area, there's water's coming up, I got to get the hell out of here. Know where you're going, have your bag packed, have your dog food packed. Don't worry about toys for your dogs in this time. Wonder if there's other dogs there, it can start a whole problem. But have your dog food, have bowls, have fresh water for your dogs, and for you, of course. Have a prepared bag ready for you, not only you and your family, but for your dogs as well. So if they need medication, get the medication into the bag. Load them up in your car today for the event that you may need them tomorrow. This way you're not scrambling. But find the shelter closest to you that allows you to bring your dogs in, or your cats, or your guinea pigs, or whatever it is you have, guys. It's our job to protect our animals. We took them into our families. Same as we have our children. It's our job to protect them. It's our job to protect our animals. So you should know what your plan is in advance and hopefully never have to freaking use it. But like I said, leash is going to be crucial here, guys. Get your dogs on the leash. Do not let them outside unsupervised. Yes, as humans, you're going to get wet, but you're going to protect your dog, and that's what this is about. So, Cindy, thank you for the question. It was actually a great question. I'm glad you reminded me to kick into that gear. Um, and as always, if the storm really starts blowing and you have a skittish dog, a dog who's unsure of things around him or her, please keep the dog on a leash even in the house. So God forbid something happens outside that freaks this dog out. It doesn't freak out and have an opportunity to hide someplace. Keep him with you. Keep her with you. It's much better for the dog. It's calmer. You stay calm. They stay calm. Guys, it's all about the energy. Good morning, Stephen from Northern Virginia. Uh, Charlie made a lot of progress with barking. Great. Just so you guys know, Stephen here, when I did my trip up north, I don't know, June. I don't remember when I went. He was part of my Northeast tour. When I came back towards here, I stopped in Virginia to help him and Charlie and Melissa. He hears something he sees it. We've made a lot of progress with barking. He sees it as a job now. He hears something to alert him. He'll bark. If we'll say enough, 9 times out of 10, he'll stop. When he doesn't, when he does, immediately, good boy, just wanted to let you know, great. I am so happy with the progress, Stephen. Fantastic. How are some of the other issues we were dealing with? I know one of them was the walking, the jumping up on people and the overexcitement, and bossing you guys around. How's all that going? Melissa sent me a text following up a little bit, gave me some great progress. I know you worked really, really hard. Here's a great example. Stephen worked really, really hard on threshold management with Charlie. They live in an apartment building similar to what I live in. So threshold management was important. One, not to bolt out into the hallway. There may be another dog there. One, not to drag them down the stairs. That's dangerous. Not to bolt out the door leading to the outside world. That was all real important. So I know Stephen and Melissa really, really worked hard on threshold management. And, the feedback I got from both of them has been a positive experience. So that's great. Just shoot out a little comment. Let me know how the other issues are going that we discussed. And speaking about the trip up north, as of right now, at the end of September, 10 days or so, I am planning to go back up north to continue some training with my customers. So anywhere from South Carolina to Long Island to upstate New York, anybody who needs me to come there, let me know. I'll post it on my Facebook page today after. The only thing that's going to stop this trip is the possible outbreak of Delta variant on this COVID virus. If things start looking really bad, I don't know if I'm willing to travel. So we're going to play this by ear. Christine asked me, how do you keep a puppy from biting you? Wheaton Terrier. The Wheaton Greedon. Wheatons are known to have a lot of energy, which is a normal. Most dogs have a lot of energy. Excuse me. How do you stop a dog from biting you? One, it's because they're getting overexcited. They're not biting you. Yeah, they're not biting you because they're aggressions. Out of aggression, they're biting you because that's how they play with each other. So what you need to do is, as humans, what we have to look at is the level of the dog's excitement. The younger the dog, the less excited they should actually get. So what you need to do is when the puppy starts getting to the point where it's play biting, and hey, it's a little rough now, pal. It's just simple. No, you hold the dog. Don't pin the dog. You're going to hold the dog with calm energy. And when it's calm, praise, and we end the play. But the biggest thing is don't let the puppy initiate the play. It's real, real important. Guys, if they initiate it, they're in charge. When I raised my puppies, Zoe was the last puppy I raised, I always initiated the play. If she wanted to play with me, you play on my terms. So I initiated the play, which means I'm more in control of that excitement level. If she comes over and starts to play with me, she's already at a certain level of excitement. It's harder to control it. So what I did with Zoe is I'd initiate the play. She'd be at a level 1 when we start. When she got to about a level 3, I'd stop the play because it's easier to control at a lower level. And then I'd praise her when she was calm. and then we'd continue. And I did, by waiting till her mind was calm, what it allowed me to do, it didn't happen. I don't know what words I'm looking for. It gave me the opportunity, one, to praise her, but also I didn't get what I hear a lot. Well, I stopped the biting, but as soon as I said, good boy, good girl, they came back at me because you never got through to the mind of being calm. Just because we stop. Yeah, Christine, definitely have her get in touch with me. Christine, where are you guys located? Like I said, I like to know where people are located. And if they're not here and they don't need me immediately, when I come up, if they're up north, I can do it when I come up there. We can always do Zoom. Guys, don't forget, Zoom is a real powerful tool for me because I talk a lot about dog energy. So it definitely helped. Nevis, and I hope I said that name right. Long Island, yeah. So I can arrange something when I'm up there on Long Island. It'll be September through the second week of October, I believe, as of today. If not, we can always do the Zoom. What can I do with my dog? Every time I leave the house, they start barking like crazy. Okay, so my first question to you would be, West Babylon, I am friends with your wife. Oh, hi. Actually, when I'm up in Long Island, if everything continues to go the way it's planning, I will actually be I'm not sure if it's West Babylon or Babylon, that's where I'll be staying. So that could be really easy. I'll let Marcy know you said hi also, but so, and I apologize if I say your name wrong, Nevis. One, when you leave the house, this is the question I ask everybody when they tell me their dog shows some sort of separation anxiety. Do you make a big deal out of it? Do you go, oh, we'll be back, don't worry, we'll miss you, we love you, blah, 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 and all this crap, and then we leave? Or the second part of that question would be, when you're normally leaving, no problem. When you're normally leaving, are you leaving in a rush? Oh my God, I got to get to work. I got to get to school. I got to get here. I got to get there. I got to go. Blah, 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 blah. Guys, remember what I talk about all the time. Energy is the most important form of communication with our dogs. And if we understand that, if we're leaving in a major rush, we're rushing to get to school, we're rushing to get to work, we're rushing to go here, we're rushing to go nowhere. It's real important not to, because think about what your dogs are seeing at that point. Oh my God, what the hell's going on? Look at that person. And they're all over the place and they're following us. And then we leave and they're like, what the freak just happened? Oh my God. So yes, it's a form of separation anxiety, but it's human created. So one thing I would always tell people, don't make a big deal when you leave. The other thing I tell people all the time, get up 15 minutes earlier so you're not rushing around. Okay, so when they see you get your car keys in your hand, they start to bark. Okay, so set them up for success. Grab your car keys, don't go anywhere. They start barking, disagree with it because it's an unwanted behavior. No, just because I grab my car keys doesn't mean anything to you, pal. And then you work on it, but you take your car keys not to leave. Take my car keys because I want to walk to the couch. Whatever. But you set them up for success by setting them up for failure. So if you grab your car keys from wherever they are, they see it in your hand, they start barking, you grab your car keys, and don't go to the door, go someplace else. Hey, so they understand, they're allowed to grab the car keys. I shouldn't be barking because they're being told they're not allowed to do that when you grab your car keys, but you got to stay consistent. And it's going to be a labor of love. You're going to tell them no, calm them down, and then maybe just put the keys back to where where you normally keep your keys, or just put them in your pocket, go sit down. And then after a couple of days or a couple of times of doing this, just walk out the front door, walk back in with the keys. If they bark at any point to this, you're going to come back firm. No, that's unacceptable. And I'm saying no to this barking because it's not what Steve is describing. Stephen described as the dog hears a noise and he's barking. That's okay because that's alerting you to something. This barking is just being a pain in the butt. So you're allowed to say no to that bark. Different times, different commands. So you grab your keys, they bark, no. They're calm, praise. If you want to give treats, give treats. And then grab your keys again, do it again, do it again. And eventually you'll see as you do this and you stay consistent, your energy is going to rule this like everything else. The more you do it, the more consistent, day in, day out. Remember to praise when the state of mind is where you want it. Just because they stop barking does not mean the state of mind is where you want it. So if they stop barking, but they're still like looking at the keys and they're looking at the keys and they're looking at the keys, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Their state of mind is not what you want. You want that calm state of mind. So you have your keys in your hand and basically they go, lay down, relax. Because that's all it should be. Keys make no difference to them. They've just learned the routine. So you need to change the routine. I'm grabbing my keys and I'm not going anywhere. I'm grabbing my keys and I'm just going to the mailbox, or I'm grabbing my keys to just get something out of the trunk of my car. You're allowed to do that. You're in charge. They're trying to tell you, hey, those keys represent you leaving. I'm telling you don't leave, basically, is what they're saying. So you got to disagree with it. And yes, if you have multiple dogs, they're feeding off each other's energy. So your energy has to be that much more overpowering in a calmer manner. So they understand that you are in charge. It's no different than when I started this conversation with the dominance. If you show you're more in charge than the dog that's trying to show dominance over another dog, the dog gives it up. So, but it's a great question because I do get that a lot. My dog doesn't like when I leave, and there's certain triggers. There's people that, the dogs get excited as soon as they see them put on their sneakers to go for a walk. The dog's excited. Yep. If you got three, they're feeding off each other's energy. So it's real important that you have to amp up your energy. Neveza, and I'm sorry again if I say your name wrong. Where are you watching from? Just out of curiosity. I like to know where people are joining me from. But yeah, keep me updated. Let me know how it goes. Remember, it's going to come from what I put down right there. Energy is the most important form of communication. So stop overanalyzing people. I tell people this: the worst question you could, Copeg. So you guys, I know Copeg's pretty close to the water. Be real careful this weekend, pal. Please be everybody up on Long Island. Be careful. And again, I'm sure you heard me say it. As of today, I'm planning on going back up north to do some training. If you need me to pop in, just shoot me a private message on my Facebook page or shoot me an email at info@backtobasics dog training. But yeah, I could definitely help you. Let me know in advance so I can set my schedule up properly. I'll be happy to help out wherever I can, of course, guys. So, my friend just jumped on, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. I guess you jumped on here. I'm hoping you jumped on here, not just jumped. So, Jennifer, yeah, Christine was telling me about your puppy. Was telling me about your puppy, and basically I tell this to everybody, and it's really hard. The Facebook page is Back to Basics Dog Training NY. That's the quickest way to find it. You'll see my logo, which is right behind me. That's the key. So like my page. I wish I knew how to put a link on here. I'll put the link on after I finish broadcasting on the Facebook page. What site are you watching this on now? Because I see you're on Facebook. Are you on like the Remember Me Rescue Facebook page? Because I'll put the link on that page as well. So Jennifer, if you're watching, I was talking about the puppies, and I tell this to the people all the time. The biggest problem we make with puppies is, one, we smother them with love and affection, and that's great because they're so damn cute. And I understand it, but you do need to set very clear, decisive rules from the time you bring a puppy home. And one of the rules I preach to people, and I hate that word preach, is the puppy is not allowed to get excited on their own. If they get excited on their own, basically what happens is they can get in trouble. It's like little kids, guys. When little kids get excited on their own, they get in trouble. That's why parents have to supervise kids. So same thing with the puppies. If a puppy gets excited on their own, remember, when dogs play with each other, they bite. That's what they do. And as hard as they bite each other, you and I are bleeding, especially with puppies with their razor freaking teeth. And I know Christine said you have a Wheaten Terrier. And Wheaten Terriers are known to be very high energy dogs. They actually have a greeting named after them called a Whedon Greedon, because they tend to jump on people when they come in because they're so excited and they're big goofballs and they're furry and they're cute and they're blah, blah, blah. And I understand all that. Their excitement gets them into a lot of trouble. And I've seen, and this isn't a scare tactic, but I've seen Whedons become, I'm going to air quote it, aggressive, because people correct their excitement with anger and frustration. And anybody who knows me knows this here is the best thing to do. No anger, no frustration, but no nonsense. So when your puppy is biting you, if they initiated the play, you shouldn't allow them to play at that point, because they initiated the play. They're in control. They're the leader, and they're telling you what to do. They're saying, play with me now. That'd be like the kid saying, drive me to the mall now, or feed me now, or do this for me now, or whatever. Do a handstand for me now. No way. Ain't happening. So if they initiate the play, you actually want to stop it. And then when you want to play, when they're calm, because you always want to start everything in a calm state of mind, you can initiate the play. You can do your little pouncing game. You can do whatever you want. But if their excitement level gets too high and you're finding that the biting is too much, your job is to stop the play, bring the mind back down to level 1 of calmness, praise, and play is now over. And you have to do this day in, day out. I always use the example of my dog Zoe, and there is a video somewhere on my Facebook page. I don't know where it is. You have to go back through some of my videos where I'm playing with Zoe in my living room, and I initiated the play. And if you listen to it, you think she's killing me. I let her get up to a level 8 of excitement, and I should say, kids, never try that at home, because that was painful, to the point where I was bleeding because I let her excitement get way too high. But I snapped my fingers, said the word no or enough or whatever, and she went right back down to level 1 that quick. Why? Because I started conditioning her as a puppy. She went from, I initiated the play, I let her get up to level 2, brought her back down to level 1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-1, and so on and so forth. But I worked on it. I put the time and the effort into it because I knew it was for her benefit. But everything I've ever done with her is I initiated. She never initiated with me. She couldn't come over to me if I'm sitting on the floor and start biting on me, or wanting to play with me, or bringing me toys to play. I initiated everything with her, and she's a respectful dog for that reason. Not 100% perfect. I always say this. No dog that I've ever met is 100% perfect. She does make mistakes. So do I. So do most people I know. So, again, what you need to understand is they have to stay calm. If you initiate the play, that's great. You made the decision. Fantastic. Initiate the calm. With a Whedon, I say every step of their lives, especially from puppyhood up, needs to be represented calm. Because like I said, I know Whedons well. A Whedon Terrier was actually my first customer as Back to Basics dog training. And we got that Whedon so good. We talked about threshold management earlier, that they live off of the people that own the Whedon live off a very, very busy road that nobody understands. It's a 30-mile-an-hour road. So we worked threshold management from the time the puppy was, 10, 12 weeks old. We started working front door manners, threshold management. I know that dog now will sit at that front door until he's told otherwise. He will not. They can unload the groceries, bring the groceries in, leave the front door wide open. That dog is as close to bulletproof to front door threshold management as you can get. But everything we did with this dog represented calm, from walking on the leash to the play to the greeting of people. So we didn't have the Whedon greeting. It's real important. Everything has to represent calm and never reward the excitement. That's any dog, but Whedons, just because of their natural tendencies. That's why I'm picking on Whedons right now. So front door. If somebody rings the doorbell or knocks on the door, that doesn't give the dog the right to be excited. They can bark, they can go see who's there, but they shouldn't be overly excited where they're going to jump on your guest, or God forbid they jump on a little child, knock the child out the door. They jump on somebody who is on blood thinners, and they scratch them, or worse yet, use their mouth, because that's how dogs greet, and they start bleeding. So the best thing for me is, well, if somebody rings the doorbell and knocks on the door, that means you're allowed to bark till I tell you otherwise. Enough. Go to your place, go sit. So I can bring my guests in, and my guests can be coming into my home comfortably without worrying about my dog jumping on them. It's unacceptable behavior in my world. It's an unwanted behavior. And if it's an unwanted behavior, my job is to teach them a better form, a better behavior. So by teaching them a better behavior, we can be more, we can enjoy having people over our house, and it shouldn't be a stress point. Even if I want to have a party in the yard, it shouldn't be a stress point because my dog's going to act like an idiot. We have to teach them that it's not in the dog's natural DNA. So it's our job to teach. Take the time. Remember, your energy is going to communicate it, but there's no anger, I'm still getting used to this right there. That no anger, no frustration, no nonsense is the right approach. No means no. Why? Because I said so, period. If you try to do it, no, that's a bunch of crap, and it's a bunch of testosterone driven, which you don't need. No frustration. But why are you doing this? Who gives a crap? The no nonsense is no. Why? Because I said so. I don't need to explain to the dog why they shouldn't bite me as hard as they do. Why are you biting mommy? It hurts, and mommy's the one that feeds you, and I love you, but you're hurt. You don't need to explain it. Just no. Enough. This is painful. You know in your head why you're saying it. You don't need to explain it. But no is no. Why? Because you said so. You shouldn't need to explain it. And if you do, the dog knows you're not serious, guys. I can't stress that enough. If I say no to a dog or nope to a dog or hey, depending on the energy I use, because the sound is for me, the words are for me, it's the energy behind the correction that's going to fix the issues. And remember to follow through to get to the state of mind you want. Calm state of mind is the crucial way to rehabilitate an unwanted behavior. And I always use the example of most people do the same routine when they feed a dog. They make the dog sit. They get the food ready, but the dog is in there. When you're saying no, how are you correcting? Holding the mouth? Absolutely do not hold the mouth shut on a dog. That is the most unnatural thing in the world, because another dog's not going to do this. It also teaches them that motion can be a scary thing for a dog, and how do people go to pet a dog? So I never like grabbing the mouth. I don't like I've heard trainers say grab the tongue, put your hand in their mouth at the bottom jaw and hold them. No, you hold the dog. If they have a collar, and you just hold the collar loosely, not hold the collar. Hold them until they're calm. And if you have to apply a little pressure because they're squirmily little things, you hold a little bit of pressure, but it's not pressure to put them through the ground, just enough pressure to meet the energy level they're on. And then when as they're calming down, you release some of the pressure to match what they're giving you. So say if the dog's at a level 3, level 4 of excitement, and you're holding them, however you're holding them gently, you're holding theoretically in order to control the nonsense at a level 5. But if they go to a level 3 from that 4, you should loosen your grip a little bit because you're giving them something. Hey, look, I calm down. That pressure lightened as I calm. Oh, let me calm down a little bit more. See what? And you work it until you figure out what your dog works for your dog. Again, when you hold a dog, it's not like grabbing somebody and shake them. No, it's just, hey, cut it out. If I don't hold them, I can't control them. If I have them on a leash, it may be a little easier. But if most people don't keep dogs on leashes 24 hours a day, so you have a collar on the dog or you have your hand, and you're just going to hold them until you get to the state of mind you want. And that's why I was talking about the feeding. Most dogs are extremely obedient. They know when the food comes out, they have to sit. But if they're sitting there looking at the food that you're preparing and the drool's coming out of their mouth and they're pretty much sitting there twitching with excitement over the food, and you give them the food, you rewarded that excitement, and you don't like that excitement. So remember, there is a huge difference between both behavior and obedience and behavior. Obedience is you tell them to sit, they sit. But if their mind is not focused on what you're asking them to do really, which is at feeding time or play with the puppy, to be calm, training's not over. Because that's the most important part, is that state of mind. I can't stress that enough to people. It's the hardest thing I have when I'm trying to teach people how to deal with their dogs. And I don't care if it's an aggressive dog, a scared dog. happy-go-lucky goofball, overly excited dog, it's the same thing. None of the training processes end until we get to the state of mind we want, which is, if they're an aggressive dog, we don't want the aggression. They have to be calm. If they're a scared, insecure dog, we don't like the insecure state of mind. We can't stop the training process until the state of mind is calm. And if they're overly excited, goofball, happy-go-lucky, same theory. So it all comes back to the same thing. That's why I laugh when I look at some of these Facebook posts and listen to people and I read what people say to do to train the dog. Guys, it ain't complicated. Your energy is going to make the difference. If you're not calm, you're not going to teach your dog to be calm. If you're overthinking the process, why is my dog doing this? You're not calm. You're in that frustrated point of view, which is what I put here. And if you're pissed, forget about it. You may stop the behavior shortly, but it ain't going to last. I'm telling you now. The hardest thing I have when I work with people one-on-one is to teach them that calm energy feeds calm energy. The animals understand the energy, not this, what I'm communicating to you with the sound. It's all about the energy you use. If you use calm energy, no nonsense energy, it works. That's why I have success when I go into people's homes and their dogs that usually act in an unwanted behavior don't act that way, because when I'm there, they read my energy and they're like, all right, this guy speaks my language. So it's all about the right form of communication. And it's also trusting your dog to do what you ask them to do. Because if you don't trust your dog to do it, how can they trust you? Trust is a two-way street. If you don't trust them, they don't trust you. Trust is a must. You have to help build their confidence by trust that you're never Zen doggies. So it works. And, I always say, namaste, reward the calm. But it was great questions. Thank you, Jennifer. I hope you were on paying attention. If not, you can always watch it on the replay. Reach out to me on my Facebook page, Back to Basics Dog Training NY. If people want to set up private sessions, we can do private sessions when I'm up north, or we can always do Zoom. Zoom is definitely a more economical way of doing it. Because it's about explaining the dog's psychology to you. It's not about me physically doing it or your dog listening to me, because I don't give a crap if your dogs listen to me. It's me having you understand how to communicate better with your dogs, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. For all my folks up north, please be careful. Stay safe. It's real. It's going to be a bad weekend up there. I understand that. Protect your dogs. Get your preparedness kit ready. Find your local shelter that accepts animals. Walk your property lines. Make sure your gates are secure. Check your fences. Make sure they're good before and after the storm. Don't go out into the wooded areas during the storm, like I did when I was up there a few times and realized, oh crap, it's not over yet. Just take your time. Please make sure you do things safely. If you have to let your dogs out during the storm, I don't know how long it's going to last. Always go out on a leash with your dog. Don't bother bringing an umbrella if the wind is blowing, because that ain't going to happen anyway. You're going to get a little wet. Keep some towels by your door. But be safe. Get your preparedness plan in place today for tomorrow. Get your bag, evacuation bag ready for you, your family, your animals. If you need medication for your animals or for the humans, get them ready now. Find the local shelter that will accept your animals with you, and be safe. So with that being said, guys, if there's no other questions, we're going to wrap this up and let you guys get prepared for the storm. As always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. Thank you for inviting me into your home this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning. And remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy your rest of your weekend, guys. Please stay safe. I'll be keeping a tab on you. Enjoy, guys.